The night sky over Gaza City erupted in fire. Explosions thundered through the darkness, each blast a gut punch to the heart of the city. It began, as it so often does, with the terrifying shriek of Israeli warplanes, a sound that has become a grim symphony of despair for the people of Gaza. Then, the bone-jarring impacts, reducing buildings to rubble and lives to dust. The air filled with the acrid stench of explosives and the cries of the wounded. Another night of terror had begun. The initial wave of airstrikes targeted what the Israeli Defense Forces described as Hamas military infrastructure, but the reality on the ground was far more grim. Hospitals, already overwhelmed and under-resourced, were quickly inundated with casualties. Among the dead were women, children, innocent lives caught in the crossfire of a conflict that has haunted this land for generations. The aftermath of the airstrikes painted a gruesome picture. Rescue workers, their faces grimy with soot and sweat, clawed through the rubble, desperately searching for survivors. Each passing hour brought fresh horrors. The lifeless body of a child pulled from the debris, a mother weeping over the remains of her home, the vacant stare of a man who had lost everything.
The human toll of this latest escalation is staggering. The Palestinian Ministry of Health reported over 61 dead in just 48 hours, the majority of them civilians. Hospitals, already stretched thin by years of blockade and underinvestment, are struggling to cope. Medical supplies are dwindling, and the constant threat of further strikes makes it incredibly dangerous for humanitarian aid to reach those in need.
The physical wounds inflicted by these attacks will take time to heal, but the psychological scars run much deeper. For the people of Gaza, particularly the children, trauma has become a constant companion. They live with the understanding that violence can erupt at any moment, shattering their lives and stealing their loved ones.
This latest round of violence is just the latest chapter in a long and bloody conflict. Gaza, one of the most densely populated places on Earth, has been under Israeli blockade for over 15 years. The Strip suffers from chronic poverty, unemployment, and a lack of basic necessities like clean water and electricity. The people of Gaza are trapped in a cycle of violence and despair, with no end in sight.
Section 4. The world reacts. The international community has condemned the violence and called for an immediate ceasefire.
The United Nations Secretary-General issued a statement expressing his deep concern over the escalating situation and urging all parties to exercise maximum restraint.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken echoed these sentiments, calling for de-escalation and emphasizing the need to protect civilian lives.
However, the United States, a staunch ally of Israel, has faced criticism for not doing more to pressure Israel to end the blockade and engage in meaningful peace negotiations.
Section 5. A plea for peace. As the bombs continue to fall and the death toll continues to rise, the urgency for peace has never been greater. The people of Gaza, like all people, deserve to live in safety and dignity. They deserve a future free from fear and violence, a future where their children can grow up with hope, not the constant threat of war. The world must act now to end the bloodshed. A ceasefire is the immediate priority, but it cannot be the end of the story. The international community must work to address the root causes of this conflict, including the Israeli occupation and the blockade of Gaza. Only through dialogue, compromise, and a genuine commitment to peace can we hope to break this cycle of violence and create a just and lasting peace for all.